Out of the fog, out of the night, and into his American adventures comes Bulldog Drummond.
In the gray light of early morning, the young woman and the man stand at the finish line of the training track, their eyes intently following the racehorse as the jockey brings it down the home stretch. The young woman holds the stopwatch tensely in her hands. The horse rushes past the finish line, and the young woman snaps the control lever on the watch. The jockey slows his mount down and brings it back to the finish line at a slow trot.
Easy, boy. Easy. How'd we do, Miss Peters?
147.5, Al.
Nice riding, kid.
Well, thanks, Mr. Connors. A mile and 16th and 147.5. That's not bad, eh, Miss Peters?
Not bad. That's darn good, Al. That's White Star's best time to date. Well, Mr. Connors, what do you think of him now?
Miss Peters, I wouldn't believe it if I didn't see it myself. White Star was a complete washout last season as a 2-year-old. You know his record. He didn't show in the money once. I really figured I pulled a smart deal when I sold him to you.
Sorry for your bargain now, huh?
Well, a bargain's a bargain. Anyway, this was just a trial run. I'll hold off crying into my beer until I see how he makes out in a money race.
Well, you'll do plenty of crying, Mr. Connors. White Star's going to be a real champion this season.
That's right. With Al Russo up, he's a sure winner.
With anybody up, Miss Peters. This pony's got what it takes. Say, I better get him back to the stable for a rub-down. I'll see you later.
All right, Al.
Wow.
Yeah, Mr. Connors?
Hold it a minute, will you? I'm going back to the stable. I'll walk with you.
Sure.
Do you mind, Miss Peters?
No, go right ahead. And don't forget you're buying me champagne at the clubhouse if White Star wins tomorrow.
Champagne it'll be. All right, Al. Let's go.
Right.
What are you trying to pull, Al?
What do you mean, Nick?
You know what I mean. You know just what I mean. You let this nag out all the way this morning on that track. You were riding him full. What was the idea?
I just wanted to see what he could really do.
Yeah? Why?
Just curious.
I told you to hold him back, didn't I? I got you the job with that Peters dame, so you do what I tell you. White Star wins when I say he wins and not before. He comes in under the wire when the odds are where I want them. You understand that?
Well, yeah, sure, Nick, just as you say, but... Nick, one thing bothers me.
What?
What did you have done to this hay burner? Last season, he didn't have no more chance than a snowball in the Sahara. You dumped him on Helen Peters because he was a flop. Now, all of a sudden, he runs like man of war. What's the angle, Nick?
I'm paying you to ride White Star the way I say to ride him. Is that right, Al?
Yeah, that's right.
Okay. So you just do that. I'm not paying you to ask questions. Remember that. If you get too nosy and instead of riding that nag, you're liable to end up jockeying a hearse. Just remember that, Al.
I'll get it, Denny.
Very well, sir.
Hello?
Captain Drummond?
Yes?
I got to talk to you. I'm in a jam.
Who is this?
Russo. My name's Al Russo. I'm jockeying out at the Westwood track.
Just what sort of jam are you in, Mr. Russo?
I'm riding White Star in the 4th race this afternoon. I'm out at the track now. I'll be going to the post in an hour, and I got to talk to you before the race. Can you make it out here fast?
You still haven't told me what this is all about.
Well, you got to come. I'll meet you in front of the grandstand, Section C. You got that? Section C.
Mr. Russo, I hadn't planned to spend the afternoon out at the track, so if you expect me to alter my schedule, you'll have to be a bit more explicit. Just why do you want me to meet you?
Well, look, I can't talk here. I think they spotted me coming into this booth.
They? Who are they?
The ones who are going to kill me.
What?
That's right, Captain Drummond. I've got to get protection. I can't go to the cops. You can save me if I talk to you before White Star goes to the post. I'll be waiting for you where I said. Now get out here as soon as you can.
Hello, Mr. Russo. Hello. Hello. Denny. Denny.
Yes, sir. What is it, sir?
Hurry, bring the car around front. We're going out to the Westwood racetrack.
Westwood racetrack, but I thought we
There's
were
a
going
change in our plans, Denny.
But, sir, why this sudden and new interest in the horses?
It's not the horses. It's my usual and old interest, murder. Now hurry, get the car. I'll be out in a moment.
Well, sir, we've been standing here in front of the grandstand for 10 minutes and no sign of your harried Mr. Russo. You know what, sir?
What, Denny?
This may be nothing more than some sort of practical joke. Maybe there is no such person as Al Russo.
There's an Al Russo, all right.
How do you know, sir?
I checked the racing page in the newspaper before we came out here. Just as he told me over the phone, he's scheduled to ride White Star in the 4th race.
Well, if he's going to show up here, he'd better make it soon. The 4th race will begin in a few moments.
Come on, Denny.
Where are we going, sir?
To the paddock. Russo should be there. Maybe he could...
Pardon me.
Yes?
You're Captain Drummond.
Yes?
Sir, hadn't we better hurry? It's almost post time.
Please, I must talk to you, Captain Drummond.
Sorry, miss. Perhaps later. Just...
Al sent me.
Al Russo?
Yes.
Where is he?
He couldn't meet you here.
Well, where is he?
He was afraid to come out into the open.
And just who are you?
I'm Al's wife, Captain Drummond. He's in trouble.
So he said over the phone.
Well, he's got to talk to you. He wouldn't tell me what it was, but I know it's something terrible. You will help him, won't you?
I'll do everything I can.
Thank you, thank you.
Now, where can I speak to your husband, Mrs. Russo?
Over there, at that line of telephone booths under the grandstand. He's waiting for you. He's in the 3rd booth. Al said I should wait out here and see if they follow you to him.
All right, Mrs. Russo. We'll be back to talk to you after I see your husband.
Yes, I'll be right here.
Come along, Denny.
I'm with you, sir.
3rd booth. Here it is, Denny.
What? It's empty, sir. There's no one in there.
Yes.
But Mrs. Russo said he was waiting here for you.
Denny, Mrs. Russo isn't a woman of her word for more reasons than one.
What do you mean by that, sir?
Look over there, where we were talking to Mrs. Russo.
Why, she's not there. She's disappeared.
Exactly. Come on, Denny, hurry.
Where to now?
The paddock.
What do you suppose this is all about? Why did Mrs. Russo tell us her husband was in that telephone booth and then vanish herself?
Now, I think that's your answer, Denny.
Oh, I say, they're calling the horses to the post for the 4th race.
Exactly. And there goes White Star to the starting gate with the others. That's your answer, all right. We were tricked by Mrs. Russo. It was a stall to keep us away from her husband until the race began.
This is Gilson Rand at Westwood bringing you a description of the 4th race, a $7,000 purse handicap. The horses are at the starting gates. Number 5, Lucky Boy, is acting up a bit at the post. Now they've got him back in line. And they're off. A fast, clean start. Kind of tight back as they move down the stretch toward the first turns. Now out in front by a length, it's Lucky Boy, followed by Sunrise, with White Star now moving into 3rd position. And as they round the first turn, it's Lucky Boy still out in front, now by 2 lengths over Sunrise, and coming up fast is White Star, trailing in the pack behind the leaders of Fly by Night, Full Time, Lonely Star, and wait. There goes White Star dropping back suddenly. Hold it. Something's wrong out there. Al Russo up on White Star has let go his reins. White Star is now slowing to a walk. Russo's just sitting there on his mount, his hands hanging limp at his side. Yes, there's something radically wrong out there. Russo is shaking his head, and now he falls forward on his horse. White Star has come to a standstill, and there he goes. Russo has tumbled off his mount. The emergency gate has just opened. Yes, and there's the ambulance. Right now, going out on the track. Russo was lying there in the dirt, his body motionless.
Captain Drummond.
Yes, Denny?
Miss Peters and her stable hand, Dave Turner, are outside.
All right. Show Miss Peters in first.
Yes, sir. This way, Miss Peters.
Captain Drummond, I'm Helen Peters.
How do you do?
I've just learned from the track officials that my jockey, Al Russo, was poisoned.
Yes, that's what happened. I've been asked to handle the investigation. I don't know whether you were informed of the matter, but Russo called me earlier this afternoon.
Al called you.
Yes.
But why?
He wanted me to help save his life. Miss Peters, what do you know about Al Russo?
Nothing except that he was a good jockey, Captain Drummond. I don't understand. Why should anyone want to murder Al?
I was about to ask you the same question.
As far as I know, he didn't have any enemies.
Miss Peters, according to Russo's wife.
His wife?
Yes, a young lady about your height, blonde.
I didn't know Al was married. He didn't tell me.
Denny, I doubt seriously if the young woman was Russo's wife. While you went for Miss Peters, I checked with the other jockeys here. As far as they knew, Russo was single. That mysterious woman was just playing her part in the murder game.
Captain Drummond,
Yes, Miss Peters?
I was with Al in the paddock when he mounted White Star. He seemed perfectly well then.
He was at that point.
But they said he was poisoned.
That's correct.
How? No one was near him after he left the paddock for the starting gate.
Russo's death was caused by a strong and swift-acting poison. That poison was injected into his system.
Injected?
Denny, let me have that saddle.
Yes, sir.
The medical examiner found a puncture on the inside of Russo's right thigh.
Here's the saddle, sir.
Hold it up a bit, Denny, so Miss Peters can see.
Right, sir.
Miss Peters, you'll notice this sticking out of the right side of White Star's saddle.
It's a needle.
The murder weapon. There's a hypodermic sewed on the inside of the saddle there. The hypodermic contains the poison.
Who could have put that into the saddle?
I haven't the slightest idea. Miss Peters, when is White Star scheduled to race again?
Next week at Overton Park, I've entered him in the Wilson Handicap. But with Al gone, I've no jockey. Al could handle White Star. He got more out of him than any other rider.
Just now, Miss Peters, I'm not concerned with White Star winning. I just want to make sure that he runs at Overton Park next week. It may be our only chance to catch a killer.
You got another jockey, Mr. Connors.
What'd you get, Dave?
Teddy Lynch. Lynch is a smart kid, Mr. Connors. He knows how to ride to win. He can bring White Star under the wire in the Wilson Handicap next week.
What about Drummond?
Well, he and that stooge of his are hanging around the stable all the time. This is the first chance I got to come over here. What are you going to do about Lynch? You won't be able to get to him with Drummond around.
I'm not getting to Lynch.
You mean you're going to let White Star come in for a win?
Not on your life. Told you I was holding that nag from a win until I get the odds up high enough for a big killing. And next week they won't be anywhere near where I want them.
Yeah, Mr. Connors, but how are you going to stop it?
When you taking White Star to Overton Park?
Tuesday night.
You drive over by Route 6?
Yeah.
All right. Here's what you do. 10 miles outside of town, there's an intersection. Halsey Corners, it's called.
I know the place.
Okay. You turn right onto 15A and go along for 7 miles. Then you come to a sign that says The Oaks. It's a farm a little off the main road.
The Oaks.
Right. I'll meet you there. Everything will be set for the nag.
Pulling a reverse, eh, Mr. Connors?
What do you think? I got too much invested to let White Star win yet. Got everything straight, Dave?
Sure, but what about Drummond?
What about him?
Maybe he'll take it into his head to follow the truck.
If he does, it'll be the last following he'll ever do. Don't worry about Drummond. I'll have everything set for him, too.
Take it easy, boy. Now, easy.
He seems to be a little nervous tonight, Dave.
I think White Star kind of misses Al, Miss Peters. I don't usually have this trouble loading him on the truck. This way, boy. Come on. Easy, Dad.
Good evening, Miss Peters.
Oh, Captain Drummond, I thought you and Teddy Lynch went on to Overton.
I changed my mind. Denny and I have some work to do. I sent Lynch on ahead. By the way, what do you think of Lynch?
Seems to be a fine jockey.
I told you he'd work out. We both may get what we want at Overton. You a victory for White Star, and I, Al Russo's murderer.
All set, Miss Peters.
Well, then you better get started, Dave.
Sure thing. Just as soon as I get this ramp up, I'm off.
You found any trace of that woman who said she was Mrs. Russo?
Not a sign of her. But I have an idea she'll show up sooner or later.
All ready to get underway, Miss Peters.
All right, Dave. I'll see you tomorrow morning at Overton.
Good night.
Good night. I drive you back to town, Captain Drummond.
No, thank you very much. Here comes Denny with my car now.
All set, sir?
Yes, Denny. See you at Overton, Miss Peters. All right, Denny, let's go.
Right, sir.
Keep on the tail of that truck.
Right, sir.
Not too close. I don't want him to suspect he's being followed.
Well, so far he's sticking to the route, Captain Drummond.
Yes, but it's still quite a way to Overton.
What makes you think something surprising may happen?
In the absence of clues, Denny, I have to fall back on hunches.
Well, if you ask me, I think we're out on a wild horse chase, if you pardon the pun, sir.
Slow down, Denny.
Hmm?
He's turning off the road.
I say, perhaps you were right about that fellow, Dave, sir. That's not the way to Overton.
Step on it, Denny. Get up to that intersection.
Right.
Now, take that turn fast. I don't want to lose track of that truck.
Hold on, sir. Here we go. Ah, there he is, up ahead.
He's picking up speed. Keep after him.
Wonder where he's taking White Star.
We should soon find out. That... Denny,
What is it, sir?
look, that